Since last year, Aespa has been receiving a lot of backlash regarding their performance abilities. And now, recently, with the release of their new album, the allegations have come back. Why did people suddenly start criticizing their performance, considering during their debut years, most people didn't have a problem with it? At some point, they were even considered to be one of the best at performing. So, is it all just hate, or is there actually some sense in the criticism? Just to make it clear, I'm not a professional dancer, but it's really not hard to see the difference between this new era of Aespa and their previous one when it comes to the dancing. Am I saying that all of the Aespa members lost their dancing abilities overnight? No, I'm not. I'm saying that Aespa were never that good at dancing to begin with. And here's the thing, so are most idols in the industry. Just because we always see idols on stage performing hard choreography decently, we forget that most of them only learned dancing because it was a requirement to be an idol. To try and mask that truth, companies would make sure that the choreography assigned had a lot of flashy tricks and complex dance moves so that it could look impressive to the average, untrained eyes. Everyone complains that the choreography idols are made to do is way too hard and makes it difficult to sing live. But maybe that's for a reason. Aespa is a good example of this. The type of choreography they did before used to have sharper movements with more body isolations. I remember watching the Savage performance videos and being impressed with how they danced. But looking back on it, I was probably too distracted with the flashy parts. Now that they're switching to a more laid back style of dancing with a lot of repetitive moves and slower movements, the members' flaws are being exposed. Here's the thing, K-pop idols, when they're trainees, are taught based on what the company is planning out for them. If the company wants to debut them as this hip hop focused group, then in terms of performing, most of the training they'll receive will be hip hop based. If the company is planning on debuting them as a group with a cute concept, then idols training will be focused on teaching them to have animated facial expressions. This, however, brings on the problem where if a group wants to change their style of dancing later on in their career, it's going to be difficult to adjust. Remember, now they aren't trainees who spend a majority of their time in the practice room training. They are idols with demanding schedules ranging from photo shoots, big stage performances, public appearances, and flight plans. Finding time to learn a whole new style of dancing in the middle of all that isn't going to be easy. I feel like for Aespa, it's even worse because choreography that is simple and with lesser tricks is way harder to pull off, in my opinion. There aren't any flashy moves to impress the audience. How the dance comes out entirely depends on how good the dancer is at making it look good. It's the type of dance that requires a lot of charisma, and if the dancer lacks it, then it will come out looking awkward as hell. So for now, Aespa will probably stick to filling the stage with multiple backup dancers until they manage to execute the dance without looking so awkward and unsynchronized. Lisa lately has just been doing anything, and I mean anything, that she thinks will push her out more. And it's starting to seem desperate the longer you pay attention. I'm half expecting her to pull a Katy Perry and go on a trip to space or a project of that manner. The way she's moving reminds me of older celebrities who've already reached their peak and are trying so hard to appeal to the newer demographic. But instead, it falls flat because they didn't actually bother to learn about what the newer demographic wants from artists. The steps that Lisa has taken so far in terms of her career read off as what she herself thinks is what people want to hear. It's like she tells herself that people want to listen about how rich she is or how much her body is goals. She's only doing what she thinks is right, rather than actually trying to figure out what the right thing is. I get that she had once managed to put out a hit song, but that doesn't mean she figured out the formula. Things are constantly evolving, and she really has to get out of that YG mindset because she isn't in YG anymore. Her charisma alone isn't going to keep people interested in her, and she better realize that sooner rather than later. Otherwise, no one is ever going to take her seriously as an artist. All that giggling during interviews and giving shallow answers when asked about her music, Like, for real, how long does she think she can fake these things? It's either she gets real or she gets branded by the public in a way that will haunt her career for life. I've seen a lot of people wondering how come Kiss of Life got fully cancelled because of that live stream, but Tarzan has been doing things that are just as worse, if not more, than them, yet he hasn't been cancelled the same way. The answer is pretty clear to me. Kiss of Life started out as any other group with a clean image besides Julie's N-word scandal. She said it when she was a minor, so many people could somehow excuse her behavior as long as she apologized, which she did. Plus, this really didn't put any stain on Kiss of Life's career since it wasn't a huge scandal and most people didn't know about it at the time. Their discography appealed to a lot of international fans, especially from the Black and Hispanic communities, and they therefore made up a huge portion of Kiss of Life's fan base. That live stream essentially felt like a slap to the face towards these communities. The members were basically mimicking harmful stereotypes that have been branded in Black and Hispanic people. This time, a simple apology wasn't going to do. They completely betrayed the trust of people who were their largest supporters, resulting in more than half the fandom abandoning them. That's why Kiss of Life's cancellation was so severe and effective. They bit the hand that fed them, and now the only people that remain are those who can overlook what they did. For Tarzan, things are slightly different. Majorly because, unlike Kiss of Life, he never had a clean image to begin with. The moment everyone saw him wearing braids for his debut profile pic, it was very clear what kind of person he was. Tarzan has always been unapologetic about the fact that he appropriates Black culture and aesthetics on the daily. And because of this, the fans he's accumulated are all okay with this sort of behavior. He never had a lot of Black fans to begin with, especially not ones who are okay with his behavior. So, despite him being very problematic, he probably won't get fully cancelled to the extent of Kiss of Life because he's already established himself as a culture vulture who's obsessed with Black rapper aesthetics. His fans aren't going to feel betrayed because they came into the fandom already knowing what to expect. If you really want to get someone cancelled, you have to turn their fans against them because they are the ones giving out their support. If it's netizens getting mad or if it's people from other fandoms, then the cancellation won't be effective because they were never supporting that person to begin with, and you can't lose support that wasn't there before.